Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Warsaw for the Wargaming.net League Grand Finals. I'm sold on the Polish. This crowd is fantastic, Carmack.
I'm here a little bit to make them cheer, but I think I'm not needed in this crowd. They're absolutely amazing. Warsaw is the best.
Well, it's the best place to have an event like this. This crowd has been fantastic. Listen to that, ladies and gentlemen, on the stream. You can feel the atmosphere in here. The emotions are running high. The Lemming train is passed by this station. We're ready to see them roll out.
Yeah, so let's talk to the audience for just a little second. Let's show everyone that the Polish crowd is a very cultured crowd, that all the stereotypes about the football fans here are probably not reflective of the Polish esports crowd. Let's give a big round of applause to the Koreans, please.
They've come a long way, to be fair.
They have come a long way. And now, headed by my friend Wisse over there in the booth for Lemming Train, let's give a big round of applause for Lemming Train. Wisse. That's Wisse over there. Guys, Wisse, Wisse, Wisse.
Well, everyone definitely getting behind the hometown heroes. Let's not linger too long here, though. Let us go to our experts to really put this game under the microscope. Obviously, Arete, we're yet to see them play. They were the #1 team from the Wargaming.net League in Korea. Not a team to be trifled with. But of course, Lemming Train have already proven themselves. Clutch, show us what you got about this match. Let's hear what you guys have to say.
Thank you, Uber and Carmack. Indeed, gentlemen, these teams have fought incredibly hard to get here. South Korea, Arete, the #1 seed, Lemming Train, the hometown heroes, the Cinderella story from yesterday. Joining me on the analysis desk, I have Wilkie and Mr. Mojo. From yesterday, the rivals of Lemming Train, I have Boo Boy's Captain from Simp, and the very lovely Melly. Melly, first off, I think we have a little bit of a challenge or some interaction with some of our fans over Twitter.
Exactly. I would really like hearing the predictions of the people at home for the following matchup. I would really like to hear what you guys are thinking about maybe the exact match results or something like that. In the EU season, we used to do that, so maybe some of you remember how we did it. Just send in your exact match prediction for the following matchup. And if you guess right, via Twitter, of course, use the hashtag #TheGrandFinals to make sure that I can actually see that tweet. And if you guess right, you might have the chance to win a bonus code.
Oh, right on. Well, I guess we can't guess, but I would, because I love those bonus codes. My account definitely needs some gold here and there. Anyways, so the underdog, you could say, would be Arete in this format, in this tournament. South Korea, we talked about some of the meta games and overall their culture and how well they've done in other esports games and that they're catching up here for World of Tanks. Arete has been a team that has led the forefront many times in the open season, the other 2 seasons that we've seen. So why don't you gentlemen kind of tell me a little bit more about this team for our followers and for our viewers?
Yeah, I think they can pull up some ace from the sleeve. They're a team that follows the scene. They know how Russians play, how European scene plays. They have inventive tactics of their own. They have some aggressive player. Their field commander is Togi, and he knows how sometimes to use suicide or to do some miracles like Alien. Christina is their definitely best player overall, and they will need him to carry the game, damage-wise. Kautif is their team captain, and he's like the anchor who will calm them down. So yeah, they have potential to do something. If Lemming Train doesn't take them serious, they are still double season champions. They can do something like miracles.
I'd love to find out where their names came from. The etymology of the different names.
Big Thief, and yeah, it's pretty imaginative.
Pretty self-explanatory.
I actually have some info about that. So Pig Thief used to be called Pig Bacon, and then Cow Thief entered the team. He was just like, oh, well, now we have to have Pig Thief. So he just switched his name because his teammate was something similar. It just makes it easy.
Helps with the team synergy. Pretty much to be the thieves. All right, well, if we look at the rosters for both these teams here, Arete is bringing out Cow Thief, Pig Thief, Togi, Tusu, Saad, Christina, Afi. Then for Lemming Train, we have Carmen, who is a fan favorite out there. We saw his energetics and vocal performance a little bit yesterday. Alien, Zinef, Meritorious, Niepozorny, Podomeko, butcher. Looking a little bit more at Arete, though, with their stats overall and what they're going to bring to the table compared to these other teams. Aggressiveness, yes, check that off when it comes to South Korea. Creativity, not too bad. They are at the forefront of their regions. Their accuracy, they're landing their shots. Fight coordination, this is where it kind of breaks apart a bit for this team. Sometimes on opposite sides of the maps, they'll be able to win different battles.
I would call that a lack of experience because they're not meeting some international team
yes,
a lot.
Exactly.
And that's just a lack of teams they can compete with.
Yeah, and with that competition too, this is where you kind of have your all-stars taking control of a side of the battle. Hey, on Ensk, it's a 2 versus 3 overmatch. The 3 versus 2 wins, but unfortunately the 2 T1s on the opposite team went for the flag capture and you lost the match. And that can happen for a lot of teams that are inexperienced. And if you have that division of mentality where your battle buddies, your 2 guys that are always in the IS3s or always 100s can win a certain side of the map, even though you can win in that strategic location, you're not going to win the battle.
These guys have chemistry. I spoke to them. They're real life friends. They have their occupations. One of them is even an actor and so on. But they like the game. They play together. I don't think they will fall to the pressure. And I think they will just give the best they can.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they will. And I'm sure they had a lot to say about themselves. Let's take a look at who is Arete.
We feel prepared for the grand finals, but we're not sure if we can win, but yeah, we'll try our best. We never had boot camp, but we prepared for the finals with Noah, the other qualifier from Korea, and we actually shared the boot camp, and it was quite a fun experience for us. We feel honored being part of the grand finals.
Arete! Arete!
As you saw, Arete said "hwaiting," which is the Korean word for like fighting, let's go, and actually kind of sounds like fighting in English, in American. Well, we speak English, but that's been kind of a code of, let's go, let's do this. And Arete definitely has the mentality to dominate, but they're going up against an opponent that the crowd is cheering for, and yesterday is using a lot of that momentum. Aggressiveness, check. Creativity, yes. Fight, coordination, and decision making. I want to talk a little more about this decision making, how crucial it is, especially on one-on-one fights, gentlemen, on when to poke out and take that shot and when to pull back and wait for your opponent to make a mistake. That definitely has to be because of experience. Am I correct?
Yeah, sure. Experience is usually what you need to know, is it now the good time to go take a poke or to stay back and wait for the opponent to come to you. It's all about the experience.
Go ahead, finish up.
And the sixth sense in your own head.
The sixth sense, the gamer's sixth sense. Blue Boys captain, you gentlemen faced them multiple times, more than any other team at this tournament, obviously within the group stage. Any surprises or strengths that you'd like to comment on when it comes to Lemming Train?
Good sense of what you're going to do. The first time we fought them, it felt like they didn't know what we were doing, so it was, it was a little slow on the first setup, and then we came up with something aggressive, and they were blown away. And then they came back in the next series, and it felt like they knew exactly what we were doing most of the time. They felt like they couldn't push us, so we tried to do something, didn't work out. Then we were being defensive, and they pushed us, and it worked well for them, but we pulled it out in the end. And it feels like in a best of 5, they'll probe the first couple maps and then decimate you the next couple.
And to kind of feel out the opponent to see what they're doing and then be able to make the adjustments accordingly, to be flexible, which is very, very important for any of these teams, especially when you're trying to coordinate that flexibility on these different maps. But talking about flexibility in individual play, Niepozorny, I think, has been having a little bit of trouble this tournament. Looking at his stats, he's not one to be trifled with. Over 2K damage per game, kill-death ratio almost 3.5, 32.3 thousand personal battles on one of his personal accounts. But what is it this weekend, gentlemen, that we're not seeing from Neil Pizzorni that we have seen in other tournaments?
Yeah, like you can see, he is one of the best players in random battles. But in this tournament, he has been like the loose link of Lemming train. So I think he needs to step up the game. He has been doing some crucial mistakes, like with the T69 in Mainz, poking against 2 T32s against you guys with Simp. And I think he needs to step up his game.
He's been careless a few times and giving opportunities to other team to great advantage. So if he doesn't man his tank well, they're going to be paying the hard price.
That was quite a surprise for you, I bet, when you saw that T69 by itself. I'm sure you kind of thought, why is he on his own coming up against these 2 IS-3s?
Well, our initial reaction to the 69 there was, oh, they must have 90s on the hill. And when I watched the replays, there was nothing on the hill. I was like, what?
At least take the shot.
We should have pushed right there.
Take the shot. And that's what I've seen some teams not take those shots when they could, when there is either a mistake or it may not even be classified as a mistake. It's just a strategic difference, a different choice a team has made that's a complete wrong choice for the scenario, but they don't have the same information that we do. And unfortunately, it's unfortunate for them, but that's part of the strategy of what the blind picks offer and the strategy that these different teams are going to bring to each map. We're almost ready for the map vetoes between the two teams. The overall aggressiveness of the teams that we have seen, from Simp compared to kind of I want to say passive. Would you describe it as passive, the type of play style that Simp has?
What we showed in the finals, it was pretty passive. Like Mackie, he always wants to call it reactive, but we didn't really react very well in the finals.
Well, reactive is a good way to put it when you can properly judge your opponents. But, Team Warsaw, that was the first match that you guys had. What was the first game like? How did you assess and make the adjustments that you needed to play reactively for the rest of the series? Because you lost the first battle and then came back in the next 2.
Yeah, the first battle was on Cliffs. We didn't feel like it was a situation we could push into, when in reality it was a situation we should have pushed into. And we didn't see that, so we didn't react. And then in the next battles, we were just like, all right, so they're trying to gain an advantage. Let's turn it around on them. And on Mines, it was the second one, and we felt we did something, and they reacted to us, and we reacted to that, and it worked out very well because and on Mines we pushed 2 90s up to 1-2. Right? They came in on the mid on our 32s, and then we came in around, flanked them. They ran away, so they're not even on our cap. They're not on our cap. They don't have any tanks near theirs. Let's take theirs. And we got a cap fast pretty easy.
It's the positional play that when you can control the behavior of your opponents, that's how you control the game, pretty much. But now we have to look at 2 teams that have no experience going up against each other, at least from our understanding. And now we have the coin flip and the map veto. As a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, the one that wins the coin flip gets to decide to be either the home team or the away team. It looks like Lemming Train won the coin flip. The home team, if that is his choice, will have the first veto choice. Well, it looks like the home team is going to be Arete. And Arete decides to veto Cliff. Could we get some ice cream, fellas? Is this what's going to happen for Steph?
I have a sore throat, but I will eat it with pleasure.
Yeah.
No ice cream. All right.
Cursed be you.
Blue Boys Captain, you're in on this too, man. If they choose Steps, ice cream for all on the desk. All right, so mine's Prokhorovka, Ensk, Runeberg, and Himmelsdorf. Now the choice is going to be the order. The home team gets to choose the 5th map. Mines will be the 5th map. Again, that is not the map choice to have for a defensive play if you're going for the win via the draw in this best of 5. We saw this last time.
Yeah, it's actually interesting that they're leaving the mines to the last maps to be played.
Maybe they feel that draws kind of shorten the maps pools, so maybe if they feel that they're not going to get to Mines if there's a single draw in the first 4.
Yeah, you maybe don't feel as comfortable as a strategy, or you're more confident in the other maps. Runeberg will be the 4th map. But actually, if I had to guess which map they would choose, I'd actually put Runeberg as the 5th for these teams. But we did see it in the last series. It ended in a draw.
this will be actually really interesting match because Arete is going to play their first game of the tournament, and usually teams struggle a bit in the first game. And Lemming has been building the momentum the whole yesterday, so they will be really confident in this game.
And they're playing in a setup they've never played before, you know, in a booth, using computers, monitors. That's not where they play at home, and that's always a factor. And you guys have been traveling around a lot now in the North American League, and now you've become adjusted, acclimated to those type of settings. Arete, this is one of their first international events.
Lemming is definitely riding the high from everything of day one. Everything about day one is just a booster for their confidence and how they feel going into these battles.
Ensk, Prokhorovka, Himmelsdorf, Runeberg, and Mainz will be the 5 maps for this best of 5. Looks like everything is almost clear and clarified between the two teams and the admin. Last spawn point being chosen.
I think Arete is going to do something really aggressive on Ensk, just to get the nerves away. Because if you do something new on Ensk and to get rid of the nerves, then you might be better off in the next couple battles.
I've actually seen them rush on Ensk against Noah, but we will see will they dare to do it against Lemming. And Wilkie said it really well. This is their first game and they can be out of sync.
I'm going to throw some imagery out there for you gentlemen. You may not be familiar with this film, but it's called Bambi. Okay. Do you remember the quail?
That's weird.
Do you remember the quail that's freaking out in the grass? And they're all saying, hey, hide in the grass, but the quail starts freaking out, then she takes off when you hear the hunter shoot, and then the quail gets taken out.
Bambi, the man in the woods.
Yeah, you learn a lot about war when you watch Bambi. Anyways, when you play so passive, so behind the scenes, waiting for your opponent to make the move, it can be very, very, very jarring mentally. And it can actually be more exhausting when you're in that mentality.
You have to be really Russian to be able to strike back from that.
You have to be really Russian? All right, Mr. Mojo, the boogeyman. You're going to be pretty critical about these teams, which we do want to see because these teams are going to try to be the best of the best in the world. And right now, I think we all can agree that Na'Vi is pretty much the best of the best.
Yeah, they haven't played yet, but this is all familiar to them. They've won so many tournaments, they will feel like right in their pond. I don't think they need big preparation.
All right, now we just need final confirmation for both the teams to be ready, set, and to go. We, as the staff here, want to make sure that they're playing to optimal configurations, and that's why we have our admins and referees inside the booths, making sure they're all good to go. And when they are, we'll throw it to the commentators. Blue Boys captain, give us a sense of what was running through your mind when you were going up against Lemming the first time compared to going up against Lemming the second time.
The first time, it definitely felt like we were going to fight a much more experienced team than Warsaw. And it showed when we went into the battles, because on Proc itself, when they pushed into us, we were just like, we're not going to win this battle. It's pretty much over. We can only draw at this point. And then we came out with the win, and we were like, all right, we have a chance. We have a chance. And as soon as the second set came in, we were just like, all right, we have one shot at this, and then they're going to adapt. One shot. And it ended as soon as we missed our opportunities.
Yeah. And which map do you feel you played to your strengths against Lemming? Because we did see some aggression coming from you, and the Russian commentators commented on that as well, saying, wow, this is really working for Simp. We're seeing an adjustment and evolution of Simp. So if you could have a rematch right now against Lemming, one win battle, which map would you choose?
One win battle. I'd got to say that I would like to fight them on Himmelsdorf.
Himmelsdorf?
Again, the one map we won. I'd like to fight them there again.
That's where we saw that aggression come out from you, down the 1-2 line. I find that Himmelsdorf is... The D and G lines are what's kind of making or breaking some of these teams. And teams that are too focused on the D and G lines, or maybe down the 7 line, the tank alley, or as you gentlemen call the banana, leaves for open hill play. But overcommitment of the hill can lead to complete downfall. Now we saw Butcher from Lemming push up to that hill, keep that place, and use that to get shots on Shanish.
Yeah, they definitely used it well. Although they were surprised by attack and they lost Meritorious really early, they didn't panic. They stopped the attack, regrouped from 3 sides, not 2. Hill, rail, plus the top side. And caught Shanish out in the open on really bad spot and shot him. So, yeah, they know how to come back in a game.
We haven't really seen full commitment to the hill play just yet.
No, never.
And we know that Lemmings, they really like to play hill. So we might see that now.
All right, gentlemen. Well, we're going to find out for ourselves. It's time for Arete versus Lemming Train. Let's throw it on over to our commentators.
Thank you so much, Clutch, and the analysis desk. Great hearing from those guys again, and there's some fantastic points about this game coming up in just a moment. Now, let's bear in mind, obviously, sadly, the player who was on that desk had to feel the wrath of Lemming Train yesterday, so now we have a new opponent, kind of maybe another lamb to the slaughter, but we can only find out Arete are a solid team. They are extraordinarily, competent in the way they play, and a lot of, eyes are on them to step up to the plate here, but it's all on Lemming Train. They do have the audience behind them. Let's not forget that one. I don't think you can miss it because it's pretty damn loud. And we're starting on Ensk. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, Lemming Train are riding that tide of emotion from yesterday. What a fantastic performance. We couldn't really written anything better. But from the terms of tanks perspective, we got the double AMX 5100, triple IS3. That's for Arete. And for Lemming Train, they're bringing out the triple AMX 5100, double IS3, double T1s. I think this game's going to be pretty snappy. Lemming Train, obviously a very strong team, beating Synergy on this map yesterday, so I'm expecting some good inspirational play from them. Straight away just going up in towards that city area with pretty much all their tanks. They've got the really high burst damage from the 5100s. They still got to think about that 40+ second reload, 50 second reload on the 5100, so they can't push in straight away. But look at Arete, extremely aggressive.
Very aggressive start here. This is not like the game before. These guys are going to go head-to-head. As soon as the reloads are available, we're going to see fire coming in already. Pig Thief does receive one shell. He's going to take another. This fire is coming in thick and fast from Lemming Train. Pig Thief does get pretty low, but they're going to continue pushing. Carmen spotting out the entirety of that rush. But I've got to say it, Arete, they're going all in here.
There was no T69 for Arete to take down then, so a lot of damage done to them, but they've got some good positions there. Potomaco's going to have to try and flank. Lemming Train doing very well down to take down Sod there in the T1. IS3 going down as Arete carry on, but they're being stopped.
They are being held in place by Lemming Train. Christina pushes up Togi as well. Calthy and Afi further back, but here comes Niers Pizzoni. Here comes Materius. Round the corner they go. They're going to get those shells off any second now. The cap is happening, but it's not enough. Christina can do nothing here. Butcher gets the shot across. A couple of seconds left. A couple of shots going. Oh, stunning shot from Materius round the side there, taking down the opponent. As now Calthy and Christina taking fire on every single side. Polo Mako now coming in. Oh, another kill comes in for Lemming Train as they have so many players standing. Calthy is in serious trouble. Two players toying with him back and forth. One more shell. He's just up and running, but surely he cannot escape the wrath of Lemming Train as he has nothing left and he's gone down. And we have one man standing. One tier one against Lemming Train on a roll. What can you do?
Pretty much nothing. Lemming Train are pretty much going to Lemming Train across you. So I think for Lemming Train, another good solid win in this on this map. Are they beatable on this map? That's the real question on everyone's mind. I think they're looking a bit too strong. Arete's very strong push down the middle. A real gamble. It could have worked if they left if Lemming Train left an IS3 somewhere there, like we have seen before. But where Lemming Train were going, that was no chance at all. And I think if Arete had looked at Lemming Train's tactics from yesterday, they might have had an idea of what they're doing. But still, they're going to play a game of Ring of Roses. But Lemming Train was just going to go for that cap, and the T1 is only going to be able to reset one tank, not the entirety. So it's going to be a win in like 2.5 minutes. To be honest, we've got to remember about that blitz pool that is in operation today. The team that wins the fastest map does take all the money from the draws. And that is going to take a lot of money. So a good job from Lemming Train right there as the tap does hit 100%. First win, Lemming Train.
Brilliant play from these guys, coming out strong in front of the home crowd. Carmen, I had the opportunity to speak to that man in the morning. He was so prepared for this. But as you mentioned, they're not taking Arete lightly. They're coming into this very seriously, not underestimating their opponent, but they looked damn strong there.
They look unstoppable. Very strange tactic, as I said before, from Arete. That's almost impossible to win with that one. So Lemming Train not really tested. Highest damage done by Pizzoni Butcher in Hot Pursuit with 1.5k. I've got to talk about Butcher a little bit because this is a man who's known to very many people. He's extremely experienced in the 5100. In many tanks, he was the AMX 3090 player once. But he's been struggling over a couple of tournaments. Yesterday, noticeably, along with Pizzoni, perhaps a little bit of a weak link. A couple of strange tactics from him. I know, as we were talking yesterday, he likes to keep a couple of shells in the autoload as opposed to just reloading when he can. So he just has those 2 shells, which can do average of 600 damage when he should be reloading, when he has the 40, 50 seconds he need to reload. So always keep your eye on that one because Butcher can get caught out pretty easily. But we'll be moving on to our next map. This was a map picked by Arete, Prokhorovka. So maybe they can claw themselves back into this game as Lemming Train currently leading quite comfortably.
Yeah, and Arete, we discussed the thoughts of aggressive play, and they came out fighting, and they are looking like they want to do something. They want to, challenge. They want to find their way through, but maybe a little bit too aggressive. I think there's got to be a limit to what you're doing and when to do it. And they kind of went a little bit in there hap-handedly. But it's the first map. As we said, some teams get to warm up first. Some teams get to a bit of a more even keel. Lemming Train have been warming up. They've had the first day to completely play through the groups. And now they go into the second. They've already played a couple of times. They're used to the stage. They know what they're in for, and they've got the crowd behind them. But Arete still fresh to the stage now. They need to get ready. They need to settle in. And as you said, Prokhorovka, it could be their map.
It's an interesting map to play, and it's what I call an open canvas of a map because you can pretty much just dictate the play and come up with some very interesting tactics and things other teams are not prepared for. Whereas, Ensk, Himmelsdorf, there's only a certain amount of ways you can play it, so you're more relying on your tank skills, you're more relying on your heavy tank players and not so much your creativity. So those creativity stats, which you saw earlier for these two teams, do come into the equation pretty much even, I would say. Although, fight coordination also a very important stat. Arete definitely lacking a little bit because of that experience Mojo was talking about. So I think this is going to be a lot closer than Prokhorovka. Arete is probably not going to go quite so offensive at the beginning. Lemming Train definitely will with those AMX 3090s. As I said before, this team has pretty much 7 players which all can call the shots. So when that comes down to the coordination between the AMX 3090s and T69s, you really can't ask for a better team. Obviously led by Elian from the front. He is really the playmaker for that one. But my prediction, Lemming Train take this one. Arete, they can obviously get themselves back into the game after that. But still, Lemming Train definitely looking strong at Prokhorovka. They got that confidence behind them of the first map. This is best of 5. So, if they could get that 3-0, move into the next game, that would be perfect. But that's going to be quite a tall order against this team.
Yeah, Prokhorovka, obviously the next map up in this one. Currently, we are seeing the fact that Lemming Train are up a map. They picked up the first map in convincing style here. So Prokhorovka will be the second coming through. Very different to Ensk. Completely different near on. So, what can we expect here? What can we see from Arete? Can they find a new dimension to bring a little bit of pain to Lemming Train? Or is this literally going to be flying through? So guys, get yourselves ready. You can see it on your screens. The last couple of, conversations, the last couple of words are being said. And Lemming Train up in the top of your screen. Arete down in the bottom there. Very, very focused. Take me through these tank lineups that we're seeing right now.
So it looks like Lemming Train have got that T32 Pershing, T69, double AMX 3090, double T1. And for Arete, they got the Pershing T69, triple AMX 3090, double T1. A little bit of a faster lineup for Arete, so maybe they're going to be going aggressive, as you can see on your screens right now. Afi and Pig Thief going first, Cow Thief and support with the Pershing, and the rest of the tanks filtering over towards that tree side. For Lemming Train, heading up the middle, Meritorious, obviously he played so well against Synergy in that T32, so he's going to be the real backbone for Lemming Train. He's got plenty of HP, plenty of armor, perfect hull down tank. It's really a very, very good tank to play. As long as you don't get flanked, it's a very easy tank to flank because of the very slow turret traverse speed. Cow Thief's trying to get a couple of shots. At the moment, Arete have the better position because they are up that hill. And Lemming Train obviously on the back foot a little bit, but all it takes is Potomac and Pizzorni, who are over towards the left hill, to make a couple of shots, and you can get some real good angles over onto the middle.
You certainly can, but we haven't seen any damage actually dealt yet. Both teams very close range. This is Prokhorovka, and just as I say it, Materius decides to take a shell to the face. So a little bit of damage now caused, and actually Arete, getting a little bit of one back. So it's literally 1-to-1 almost right now. A little bit of damage either side, both testing the water. Just after such a first game, I don't think either side could really read much into it. Arete just rushed it. That was almost a done deal straight away. Second map, they're taking their time. It's a near-on different team when you look at it in this aspect, and they're playing slow, they're playing carefully, and they're playing a more, European-style meta game. They've hit another shot there. Christina does receive a shell, so they're certainly capable. Carmen's gone down, so kills are coming in, and Arete are looking all right.
That was a very big blow for Lemming Trainer right now. Carmen is the one who goes forwards. He's an aggressive spotter. And without him, it's going to be very hard for them to go aggressive. And that will allow Arete to get back into this game. The damage done is pretty much equal. Most of the tanks for Arete have been damaged. Only Pig Thief getting away scot-free. And for Lemming Train, only Elian getting away scot-free. Both of them using that AMX 1390. Potomako does land that shell onto Cow Thief, so he's down to 975. But he's also got to get off the retreat, off the hill, as he does receive a shot of his own. Nia Pizzoni taking over that spot with the 3 shells he's got left in that autoloader. So he's got the gun depression, and that's what he needs to be doing. Materius and Butcher now praying aggressively, but Arete starting to head over towards that right side.
Yeah, and I want to see where they take this, where they really start heading towards it, because it looks like it is now their time to push. Pig Thief, Cow Thief, and every other member now starting to kind of mobilize themselves towards the opponent. 7 minutes and 18 seconds left. There's a lot of time on the board here, but they do have a great little bit of a spot. They've got themselves right around the opponents, but they could be outflanked here.
Well, this is what Lemming Train did against Synergy, and it actually ended up working. So I wouldn't be surprised if it works here. All they need to do is get the real Synergy needs to get the coordination, needs to get the fight tactics right. And that's what they're doing currently. Making sure those T69s are getting around with the Butcher, Nia, and Materius, making sure they get the damage down, then use those AMX 1390s to flank around. And despite Nia Pizzoni being on that hill, he will be out of position. He'll maybe land, even if he lands 4 shells, it's still maybe not enough to take down 1 tank. He'll probably land 2 or 3 shells, so that certainly won't be enough. As another couple of shells do ping out in towards Arete and Potomako. So very interesting start. You can see how aggressive the Korean teams are. Butcher receives a shell to the face then, and at the moment, both teams just kind of staring each other in the face. It's really that calm before the storm. Well, not exactly calm, but getting a little bit more exciting. Arete starting to go over towards the left. Maybe they want to come around. Obviously, the MX 1390 doesn't have the gun depression to peek over that hill, whilst the more gun depression heavy team Lemming Train does. Yeah,
they're certainly not afraid to test the waters here, and I like that about them, but Christina is going low. That player could be taken out any moment now. Down to 342 HP. That's not a lot to work with. But then again, you've got to look at both sides. Both teams are severely damaged. Just Pig Thief somehow remaining completely unscathed by this. It's a near miracle. But we are seeing the fact that Arete, they're not afraid to roam around here. They're not afraid to get in the faces of the opponents. But we are seeing a little bit of a flank coming through here, and this could be a big play, and from what a man himself, the one who made all the odds.
This is very dangerous stuff from Lemming Train. Elian left on his own. Pig Thief is going to be looking for him. Elian playing it perfectly. He might get side shots.
Let's see if he actually takes him right here. He's in the spot. You know what he's at. We saw this man almost doing a 1-on-3 previously, and they've not spotted him out. Are they not going for this? What are Arete doing right now?
They have no idea where they are. Elian makes a couple of shots. He's not going to get spotted. Well, he does actually get spotted. Togi and Pig Thief are going to rotate around. Maybe Elian only thought there was one there. Christina does receive a shell to the back. But Elian, he's alone. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, Elian's still a big player here, but the rest of Lemming Train just keeping themselves together, even though, quite out-of-the-box strategies coming out from Arete and interesting adaptions. Elian now could be in trouble, though. 2 tanks now staring him down. Couple of shells connecting. He's down to 137. He's been taken down. That's a big loss for Lemming Train. He's been such a standout player. And looking at Arete, they've still got a lot of HP to work with.
They've got a significant amount, especially on Togi, who's playing that very durable T69. So both teams now losing a tank. I'd say that HP is pretty similar, but that T1 does go down. So both T1s down for the side of Arete. Doesn't make such a big difference on Prokhorovka, but still does help with that cap push. And you can see the kind of points we're looking at. 32 for the side of Arete, 33 for side Lemming Train. Obviously, Lemming Train winning the series so far with 1 map on Ensk to the good. And Christina down for Arete, and Elian, the playmaker, down for Lemming Train. In terms of that, Elian being the star player for Lemming Train, I would say Lemming Train a little bit on the back foot. It's really up to him to lead his team now.
Yes.
Make sure they make the right calls. Make sure they're using Meritorious, because he is in a tank which gets more and more dangerous as the game goes on and the more damage Lemming Train does.
And we also want to point out the fact that Nia Pizzoni is still alive in this, and he's a player we've been waiting to see step up to the level of play he can reach. And this is his chance now. Obviously, Elian down, the key player, the superstar of this tournament so far, is out of the picture. So, maybe it's his time to shine. Maybe it's his turn to step up to that play. And we are into that stalemate moment now. Almost on polarizing sides of the map. They're literally just over that 6 line. Cow Thief there, just kind of peering up and down. Materius, Butcher still in position. These guys, letting shots fly, but not that many connections. Christina went down, but Christina was extraordinarily low quite early on. So not much gain, not much loss just yet. And with 3 minutes left, I'm not sure if we're going to see a winner on this one.
I think Lemming Train will eventually push. Meritorious and Butcher are not playing auto-loading tanks with the Pershing and the T-32, so they can get the sustained damage down. That's why they're sitting in the middle. That's why they're constantly doing shots. Nia Pizzoni, who hasn't got that, has to go forwards with the T-69 to try and do the burst into the side. Lemming Train with that instinct, knowing that Arete are probably going to push north, maybe expecting that push into the cap so he can work his way around. No AMX 1390 in position for Lemming Train. Like Togi caught out.
Yeah, Togi is in trouble. He's the one who had the HP, but it's being melted away from him. He's got to back away. He's taken a good chunk of HP away from himself, and this is just not what you want to be seeing. And Niels Pizzoni, we waited to see him step up. He's still got 2 more shots to make, and that could really put Arete just almost on the back foot immediately.
And this is the aggression coming out for Lemming Train. They are being pushed back slowly but surely. Nia Pizzoni is stepping up for his team, but he's actually going to have to go and reload right about now. So about 23 seconds left there. That's where Meritorious and Butcher have to get themselves into this game. Probably use Meritorious in a bit more of an aggressive position because of that 298mm of mantlet armor from the T-32. And to be honest, I don't think at the moment of that penetration, maybe Cow Thief can do some damage with the T152E2M2 on the Pershing with the 268mm of penetration, but he's not in a great position and he can't do a lot of damage. Nia Pizzoni goes.
Yeah, Butcher is though moving in. Afi is now in trouble. Got 2 players from the opponent staring him down. He's going to have to pull off a miracle here to get away from this one. Minimal health left. He's surely going to be taken. No, he takes down the opponents. This is unbelievable. Arete could turn this one around. 1 minute 35. Afi still on the go. He's trying to look for a way through here. Materius though goes low as well. Afi is doing the work. Togi not far away. Cow Thief now coming around. Materius does not have shells to fire just yet. Now just going to he's still staying alive. Can he do anything here? He doesn't get the shot off. This is unbelievable. 3v1. Materius could go down and he's done. He's done for. Arete are turning this game around and just Polo Mako can save the day.
Materius going for the shot on the turret of the T-69. 244mm of penetration just isn't enough. Potomaco trying to go on the retreat. 1 minute and 2 seconds left on that clock. Can he do it? The kind of they are spotted. Togi is actually spotted in the Pershing, so he's got in the T-69 even, so he's got to try and get the reload. Potomaco, he's got pretty good camo value left on that AMX 13. No, he's trapped.
Togi may have just saved Arete from being in real trouble. There's a shot to do the damage, but Snip is still alive. If he can stay hidden, if he can hide throughout this, they will draw this out and they'll still retain the advantage. 3 players for Arete are now on the hunt for him, and they're closing in. Afi is not far away. 30 seconds, Snip has to stay alive.
Afi has got to really use that Sixth Sense. He has got Sixth Sense. He's also got coated optics, so he's got that 10% extra view range. That will be very, very crucial. He is going for the right position, but Snip is not there. 15 seconds left on the clock. I don't think he'll find him.
This is going to come down to mere seconds now. 10 seconds left. Snip is not far away. Neither is Afi. These guys are closing in. 7 seconds to stay alive. Can he do this for his side? 3 seconds left. He might just been spotted. Can he work it out? 1 second. He's done it! He stayed alive and got the draw in the bag in the end for Lemming Train. That takes some nerves of steel with 3 players from Arete hunting you down. Unbelievable stuff.
And what was ridiculous was that Togi was actually spotted. So they knew where Snip must be in general direction, because if you're spotted, he must be nearby, especially if you have the T1, which just doesn't have that view range, even with binocular telescopes, which Snip undoubtedly had. So Arete coming so close, but Lemming Train throwing the game horribly in the end. Butcher going in, getting butchered, and then Meritorious trying to get himself some damage, but then just hitting the top of the T-69 turret. Completely random shot there. You just don't have the penetration, not really aiming down, and he did have the time to make it, but he just gave that one shot away. And Nia Pizzoni, going aggressive with the T-69, not really doing the damage for his team, although I have to say it, he was the best player in that game.
Himmelsdorf is the next map. Okay, just to keep you guys up to date, if you're just tuning in and you're not sure what the scoreline is, in basic, it's 2-1. The victory Lemming Train got gave them 1 point to 0, basically. They're winning with the advantage. Arete have nothing. The second map, now drawing up a 1-1 there, makes it a 2-1 situation. So Lemming Train need basically 1 more point, and they've pretty much got this in the bag. So now Arete have to do something extraordinary. They have to beat these guys on Himmelsdorf. Now, I remember seeing Lemming Train doing wonderful things on this map. I've seen them truly shaking the very best teams on this and picking up a lot of wins. So Arete, if there's any time to do it, it is right now. They need to basically get the victory or there's nothing to do. That's all they can go for. So it's down to this. And I think we have hammered that point home, a hell of a lot. But the hometown team, to see them coming out here looking so strong as well, it's a beautiful sight to see. But Snip, what a play in the end, then just making sure he just stayed in cover. And it's a bit of a focus face on Carmen. I don't think that's too surprising, really. These guys have obviously a lot of support, but also a lot of pressure. You've got to be able to take it in both steps. That, yes, the whole crowd may be behind them when they're winning, but when you are losing, it's very hard to, realize that this whole crowd may be almost having their hearts kind of let down by a team. So let's hope they keep this up, and they're certainly in the right position to carry this forward. And let's turn our attention towards Himmelsdorf here. We've had Ensk, we've had Prokhorovka. Ensk, I don't think we can look at it as a typical city map the way it was played. I don't think we can read much into how Arete play that. Just because they literally ran down the middle of the road. Literally just went and tried to get the damage done quickly as possible. Nothing to do. But Himmelsdorf, do you think we're going to see that again? We saw, Noah doing the same thing not too long ago to Unity and it working. But do you think it would work against Lemming Train?
It would work more on Himmelsdorf than it would on Ensk. That's all I'm going to say. The likes of Virtus Pro, we saw Unity do it yesterday, pushing up heavily. We saw You're Dead, Noah against Unity actually winning there. So I think it works to an extent. You have to play it properly, and all you're doing when you're pushing along, especially from the south into the kind of middle area of Himmelsdorf, you're basically just extending your battle line. So instead of having about 40% of the map, you have 60% because you have that middle courtyard as well. But it also allows for the other team to surround you very easily. Also allows them to have the hill because you've committed. That can mean you could be in trouble from behind with the tier 1s in the cap. So all these kind of things are going through the mind of both these teams, Arete and Lemming Train. And a quick update on the scores if you've just joined us. Arete have got 1 from the draw. Lemming Train have a win on Ensk and also 1 from the draw. So 2-1 to Lemming Train at the moment as we do head into our third map, Himmelsdorf.
Now, Winter Himmelsdorf awaits, and this could decide if Lemming Train will progress even further into this tournament in front of their own hometown team. And we've heard from Carmen endless times, but every step he takes is just getting him closer and closer to that end goal of getting through to those finals. So guys, Arete up against Lemming Train. This could be the deciding map. If Lemming Train pick up anything other than a loss, they get the victory. If they get a draw, if they get the win, they are in the position to go forward. So ladies and gents, let's get ready for Himmelsdorf now. Take us through those tank lineups. Oh wow, we have an exact mirror here.
It's a mirror match. 3 MX 5100 for Lemming Train, 2 IS3s, 2 T1s, and the same goes for Arete. Lemming Train heading up towards the right side with most of their tanks, only leaving Butcher in the 5100s over towards the left. And the tier 1 obviously going there as well. Carmen playing that, but does look like Lemming Train are going towards the hill. Materius keeping the flank down with the IS3 in the background. Obviously the perfect tank for that. Arete, a little strange for them, kind of an old school tactic, sending 2 5100s up the hill with 1 tier 1. Rest of the tanks keeping the middle. I'm not sure why the extra IS3 is on the right, because the one on the left does the same job pretty much as the other one, and can also mean that it can get caught out a little bit easier. Okay, maybe have a little bit more support, but you can go down a lot quicker. Final tank, the 5100 over towards the left for Arete, and the tier 1 spotting that 1-2 line as well. But I think, Lemming Train have really judged this perfectly. They got 3 tanks on that hill that will easily crush the 2 that Arete is sending up.
Well, we can only wait and see as Snip will get a bit of an eyeful of the opponents. Now making their way forward, you can see them now rolling up. Afi, Christina now peering out. They don't land the shot initially either. That's going to make it even worse. They need to back the hell up. They're getting away from there as soon as possible, pretty much. As Alien, though, he's fancying his chances. He's not messing around. He's going to be going for the damage here. Afi not far away. Will he go for these shots? He might just catch him in the back. Yes, he has. Afi takes a massive blow there, down to 791. Oh, another follows. Afi is in trouble, dodging the shots, but he can't escape. Afi's held in place, just managed to get around the corner as Alien received 1 back, but still, what an early exchange for Lemming Train.
That was absolute textbook. Sending more tanks up the hill does allow you to push on when they have to retreat, despite You know, how fast you can push off that hill, it doesn't matter. Now Lemming Train have that momentum, looking up the banana, sending 251s around. They got the tier 1 as well. Arete are going to have to try and rotate around, come from the cap, maybe go for that win, because if he is down to 487, that's going to be a 2-shot for every tank on Lemming Train's teams. Proto Mako still got 6 shells perfectly. Another Tuso goes down in that tier 1, but Carmen has gone down for Arete, and this could be a cap race.
Yeah, this might just be that base race that we could expect, but Aphie being so low could really cause trouble, because you can see there is a player laying wait. It is Butcher. This man can do some serious work here. Oh, the first shell does not connect as he wanted, but still, they're in a spot that, you know, they can do a little bit of work from. Butcher is pretty much solo until the other tanks can come around support. But here we go. Cow Thief does make his way to the cap circle. That will begin now for Arete. So that's going to just tick down and down and down until maybe one of these tanks can stop it. But there's the return cap as well. 3-2, I believe it is, for the cap, so it'll be slightly quicker for Arete, so they're going for this one. But here come those shots coming in. Niers Pizzorni, Polomako all laying down the fire. Pig Thief goes a little bit low. Cow Thief receiving damage as well, but Aphie is seriously in trouble.
He's got to retreat, otherwise he will be absolutely blown away. But at the moment, Arete are kind of in the driving seat, although Lemming Train have caught up with that cap. Niers Pizzorni's got to play this perfectly. Butcher on the rotate around, and pretty much everyone on the side of Arete is pretty much half health. That'll allow Butcher his way in.
Well, let's see if he can do anything here. He's going head first. Togi holds his place. Nice work coming out from Arete there. But look at the clock. 10 seconds to 14. This is so close. Resets coming in left, right, and center. 10 seconds left. Niers Pizzorni now wants his chances. He's going to come through. Find Sod. Take Sod down. That's another reset. 4 seconds left. Lemming Train seconds away from the victory here. 1 second. Lemming Train have done it. They're moving forward once again. And Lemming Train, they are not letting their audience down. They've stepped up once again to the plate, and they've provided a phenomenal victory for their side. Carmen, give them a round of applause.
The look of relief on those guys' faces is pretty tangible. Another classic textbook counter tactic from Lemming Train, knowing that Arete will probably go for that move, but nothing away from Arete. They played superbly, admirably, I would like to say.
Yes.
As their tactic was completely legit, and they could have won against a lesser team. But at Lemming Train, they have the crowd, they have the skill, they have the ability, and most importantly, they have the experience.
Yeah, indeed. And it's really showing right there. That's a level of Himmelsdorf I was looking forward to seeing. Those counter caps, those base races that just begin out of nowhere. And I love the way the Lemming Train always have almost a backup plan. Even when they had the cap on, you know, they were ready to make sure that cap got held in place. They always have a plan there, and there was just no reset capability, sadly, for Arete then. You know, as soon as Lemming Train got that cap underway, there was not much they could have really done. And it's time for team talks for these guys, because as you said, they really showed potential. They showed they were up for the fight. They made some interesting plays, some interesting strategies came out from them. Maybe time to look back, you know, and maybe review how that went a little bit, and just kind of look at the teams they've got coming up, because there's no easy opponent here in the playoffs. At this point, every single team has to prove they are, you know, they've got the stuff to go any further forward. So Arete, I think it's time to go back to the drawing board a little bit, you know, consider their options. Some brilliant play, obviously Alien there coming in, handshakes all around, you know, no hard feelings between these guys. Certainly time to walk away from and learn from either way, whether you win or lose. You know, it's as simple as that. You've got to kind of keep it in mind and kind of work through any problems you may have had, like, oh, you know, our communication was bad. You know, if Arete look back at Himmelsdorf, maybe we need that backup plan. We need to find a way to, okay, stop the caps a little easier, because they had no pressure on that cap then. They lost their tier 1 so early, couldn't reset, and it kind of fell apart from then, don't you think? Or is there, you know, something else they can maybe look back on and maybe go, okay, let's get a little bit, you know, of a newer aspect on this?
Yeah, they have to react quicker and not retreat so quickly, because it was actually 2 versus 2 in terms of the 5100s. Go for the brawl on the hill. You have the initial shots as the Lemming Train 5100s push over the crest. So I think just holding steadfast and go for the damage, as opposed to just retreating immediately and being out of position.
Well, I think we will stop talking, because you don't want to hear from us. You want to hear from the incredible Lemming Train, who are doing the Polish crowd justice right now. So guys, let's head over to the stage with Mitch and the incredible Lemming Train.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lemming Train! Carmack, what a game. Into such aggression from Arete as well. These guys kept their heads and managed to push through. It was really impressive work.
Yes, indeed. My mic. Okay. Oh, there we go. Łysy.
Dzięki! Brawa dla was! Dzięki wielkie!
Anyone would think this was the winner's ceremony? It's not quite yet, though. Of course, these guys have got some work to do. I do have a question for you, come on. Obviously, you know, over those few maps as well, you saw Arete come so aggressive towards you guys, and they were always moving on Prokhorovka as well. Did you expect this play style from them? How do you deal with such an aggressive team?
We were sure that they will play something different they play normally, and we were right. They were playing really good. We a bit again. We really don't do this very well on the Prokhorovka, and that's why I said this bad word, because I was very mad at the guys, but Snip is the man of the honor. He camped like always in the bush. He do it all the time, so he's used to that. So thanks to Snip that he won that map. Like you see, he is a Bolt, so that's why Bolt wins. Okay, and really I was impressed by the guys because we saw the streams. They were not playing that good 2 months ago or 3 months ago. Now, the level of their play is much better. So I hope they will win the loser bracket and maybe met us again. I just hope that our next match will be also that fun for you and also entertaining for us, because it was great. Great to play on that stage and great to play for you, for all of us. Dzięki wielkie za ten doping.
Listen, next match is potentially, I don't know the other results, but in the bracket, Navi. Tell us a little bit about that.
To be honest, it will be a rematch for the Seattle Tournament Open, and we hope this time we will win this. But if not, it's still a loser bracket and we still can kick their ass. But we need to win, so we do this. With you, we can do everything.
Fantastic work. Lemming Train is rolling on through. Let's hope they don't have to stop at the station just yet. Ladies and gentlemen, let us put this match, though, under the microscope a little bit further. Clutch and our experts, take it away.
Thank you, Uber and Carmack. A huge congratulations to Lemming Train. Quite an impressive play again coming out of Arete. Let's talk about the first battle, gentlemen. I actually approved of what Arete tried to do here. Put the ball in their court, let them try to control the pace of this matchup, especially being the underdogs. However, Lemming Train pretty much saw what was coming, bunkered down, made the swift position movement that they needed, and closed it up.
I would say they just spotted them and shot them down. This was really careless push. It's not like planned push, like rail plus the green side or something like that with flanking tanks. This was just full YOLO. You could just call that. And
YOLO.
they already did it in Korea finals. So if Lemming Train was watching that, they could 100% know this is how they won over Noah.
But actually, Bluepost captain told that the Arete was training this push against you guys.
It didn't really work anytime, really, so we were just wondering why they would pull it out. But it was definitely interesting to see, and Lemming Train's reaction was just
spot on.
Just shoot him.
Yeah, just shoot him, pretty much. Especially when those tanks are on the move, you had that advantage with the accuracy. Let's talk about Prokhorovka, the dance of death that happened between these two teams. It was first north to south, which we see, I would say 45% of the time, and the other percent, 55%, 65%, whatever kind of percentage you have based on the statistics of your different regions, Prokhorovka can turn into a draw, or it can turn to that east-west play that it actually comes down to whoever makes or secures that northern cross position of the railroad, or the southern that actually gets the win. What went wrong for Lemming Train in this? Obviously, you know what went wrong for Arete, not finding that 1T1. But as you said, Wilkie, they won the battle. They didn't win the match because of it.
Yeah, they won the battle, not the match. It pretty much started when Alien was doing the Lone Wolf work in the East play. And he was caught there, losing some HP and then dying. So after that, Arete had the upper hand. And then after that, it was the big battle in the middle of the train tracks. And well, Arete won the gunfight. Sadly, it didn't work out because the awesome play by Snip with the T1. I was hoping that he could have killed the 1390 with the T1, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, it would have been close. He could have done it too. He had enough shots.
Yeah.
I would say Alien often does that in Prokhorovka. When his team is on one side, he's usually on opposite side as a countermeasure, so he can spot from behind, shoot the enemy attacking tanks in the back. I don't know why he allowed himself to get spotted that easy this time. I think he had a route to run away. He didn't use it this time. Also, I really don't understand why LTR chose to engage them. They were in inferior position and Arete really played it out well. And it was very misfortunate for them not to find the snip.
It was close, and it would be a different story moving into that third game. The boys, Captain, let's talk a little bit about the third map there in Himmelsdorf. We had a mirror matchup, 3 5100s, 2 IS3s. We had the hill play from Lemming Train, which they've favored so far, gentlemen. We'll see if that pattern will continue. But those shots from Alien were so crucial in that. When do you make that call, or when does your shot caller make the call to retreat from the hill? How is that decision made?
Well, to be honest, Arete should have been way more cautious. They didn't spot a single tank anywhere except the hill. So if you don't spot anything anywhere else and you have tanks to spot that position, your only reaction should be, all right, they're doing something on the hill. Do I want to push into that? Your initial reaction should be no, because if you're pushing up the hill, they could be already there. And as soon as they saw that T1, it was over. They needed to get out now. 5 minutes ago, they didn't want to be on the hill at all.
It could have been a different story, though, if they had one of their tanks backing up that hill push, which is a tough call to make because that leaves you more vulnerable over to the west. Mr. Mojo, however, you mentioned that Ellen could be completely dead if they had baited them out.
Yeah, there are tactics that teams, especially Russian teams that LTR might meet, send tanks to the hill, but actually they keep 1 or 2 tanks down in a down row to snipe if they have to run away. So if someone rushes in, like carelessly, like Alien, oh, there is damage, I want to do it, I want to do it, I want to do it, and then suddenly he can face guns waiting for him. So, but Arete didn't know that, and it paid off.
It is a bit of a tricky play, but it is a very strategic play to make, especially when you trick your opponent into that over-aggression on the hill. And a lot of teams are like, hey, we won the hill, let's push down and try to get that pressure on the base, and then all of a sudden around the corner you have maybe an IS-3 or one of those 5100s just unloading.
50 would do.
Yeah.
Just
50 would be the fine choice.
2 track shots, he's dead.
Yeah, he's totally gone. And then you have sometimes the other teamate with him hesitating. Do I go in and help? I don't know how many's around the corner. And then you can get 2 for the price of 1.
Price to inexperience in extension of the game. Arete did a well thing to push their cap, but they pushed with everything they had. They had nothing to reset the cap. So since this is not 18 Porrigade or anything else, Lemming Train just kept their tanks capping and suicided tanks to reset and won the match.
Yeah.
I felt like that one tank Arete had on the D-line didn't accomplish anything, and he could have been much better purposed.
But Lemming Train also already placed a tank behind him to cut him off.
Yep, yeah.
Even you could see that also on the map.
Yeah, which is why my initial reaction was, if you're going to do the 4-man and you have a guy way back, just have him on the K-line. Just sit him on the K-line.
Yeah, he must be somewhere back.
Yeah, and that K-line is an important defensive position as well. It's also the position where he can move with the 5100 kind of the quickest to get into the fight if necessary. Kind of what we saw yesterday, that little surprise quarterback defensive play with one of the tanks. Well, congratulations on Lemming Train. They will move on and face the winner of Navi versus PvP Super Friends. The update that we have is Navi is up 2-1 against PvP Super Friends, still waiting for the result of the next match. I believe the next match on the main stage will be Virtus Pro versus Fnatic. But Melly, we reached out to the audience watching online on Twitter. Do we have a winner yet? We're going to give a code to?
The predictions went in clear favor for Lemming Train, actually, and we managed to find a winner. You helped me picking one earlier, and he predicted the exact outcome after points 40 minutes ago, so before the match even started. So that's amazing. And Michael Borg, congratulations, you're getting a bonus code. Please message us via facebook.com/WGLEU to redeem it.
All right, thank you so much, and stay tuned, guys. Make sure to hashtag the Grand Finals, as we'll have more codes to give away. We're going to take a break, but before we take that break, let's take a look at some of the highlights from yesterday's games.
He's on a whisker of health. Anything could tape him down. Niespezzoni carrying on, 22 seconds left. They need to make these kills and make them fast. There comes the first. Armely now left with nothing as Niespezzoni takes him down. Applewell positive. Last 2 alive. 10 seconds left. They've got to get these shots in and make it count. Positive can just hide away. Can he hide long enough though? Applewell has been found. Niespezzoni finds it. 1 man now stands. It's just Positive. And surely he's been taken down. Lemming Train
Ну что?
Тэшку забрать. 13-90. Кусля. Времени мало очень. 30 секунд. Кусля есть.
Есть
Фокус. Еще раз Кусля. Сколько раз он спасает?
До свидания.
Выстрел. Еще нужен. Есть выстрел. Т1 забрать. Теперь Т1 был здесь.
Все,
Его забрали.
69-ка
69-ка это...
Она на
Это все. Потамако.
Не дочекал. Не
увидел его.
Есть. Ему маякую туда. Кус, чекай до конца. 10 секунд.
Он же был здесь.
Вот он сейчас вернется,
7,
Потамако. Горка.
6,
Есть засвет.
4 секунды.
Работать всем нужно.
Забирает танк, он уходит, он смог.
They go over the top, and can they break this? They are looking the wrong way. Lemming are looking the wrong way. As Prokhorovka is receiving the full firepower there of Sid, and he will go down with barely firing a shot. And now they turn their sights to the rears of these Pershings. They are going to try and take them both down. Butcher needs one more shot. He'll go down, but Blue Boy's captain is on reload. He survives. Somehow Blue Boy's Axum is still alive. And this is disastrous from Lemming as they go down, and we've only got 2 combat tanks left. What a play there by Sid, but, and this is the big but.
ПТХ прет сюда, но слушай, она доедет, она, по-моему, доедет. Она доедет, как мне кажется. Но тут уже вопрос.
10.
Сбили, пока 3 секунды, есть преимущество по захвату, но... Сводится.
Нужен, 3 секунды, давай.
Мимо!
Да не быть не может, прошел захват!
Does manage to hit the shot eventually on Alien there. We are seeing a man who certainly can. If you're going to be a faith in anyone, you want it to be him. So he's peering up and over. Alien does get punished down to 8, 6, 7 HP, and he does manage to escape the rest of the fire coming through. But finally, Synergy have calmed down, but at the expense of almost... at the expense of Popple and Armley. And you can see the shells, they're not stopping. Synergy are absolutely hammering these through.
2 сотки с полным барабаном.
5.
Собьют.
4.
Все.
Сбил. Еще сбить. Пэплу теперь сбить. Хорошо сбивает захват базы. Вообще сбили весь захват базы. Смотри, по времени. 48 секунд.
Где же Повел? Он тоже помог.
Забрали танк. Ой-ой-ой. Еще могут второй забрать. И делают это спокойно. Захват базы идет в другом фланге.
ЛКД. Бучер КД. Сейчас их будут здесь ломать. Вернемся к Т1. Покажите Сталкера в конце концов.
Сталкер должен решать здесь.
Сталкером.
10 секунд. Сталкера по-прежнему видят. Снип прячется. Снип живет 5 секунд.
Сталкер ушел от Элла. С префайром нужно, с префайром!
Не успел. Сталкер сбил, хорош. Сталкер сбил захват базы.
Все.
Есть.
Это привет и здравствуйте. Повел против Элла.
Захват базы по-прежнему идет. И, кстати, спокойно заберут снипа. Здесь он в той же позиции, где был до этого.
Ну, в принципе, тут... Вот главное, если ремка у Повела, например. Если будет гусля...
Я думаю, есть.
В любом случае, потом еще
видят Повела.
Будет беготня. Все, минус снип.
Минус снип. Забирает снипа.
Что по 2 снаряда есть. Хватит.
Воу-воу-воу. 333. 143.
Ваншот на ваншот. Ну кого? Кто кого? Повел либо Эл. Синерджи не проходят дальше.
Оу, Синерджи вылетают из чемпионата, друзья. Вот это да.
Это что-то!
Домой кричит Мериториус, по-моему. Просто жесть.